Which is very odd since he has excellent balance. Made me leave so he could focus on his stuff. That especially made the feeling even worse. The rest of the conversation happened at dinner. The gist of what he said is something like, the signs are all there. He mentioned that we haven't been as romantic or intimate as of recent. He even said something about less attraction on my end, which isn't true. Then mentioned weeks of silence. I don't remember this happening at all. Frequent absence. I haven't been going out much except with my friends for dinner dates, which isn't often, just 4 times a week for now. Something about initiation. The only one that somewhat made sense was how I was cutting couple time for friend time or game time, which doesn't happen all that often. I can only count 2 or 3 times last week where I did that, and we still had an hour or so out of the planned 3 or 4 to spend together, so he shouldn't have an issue. What he said next honestly broke my heart and I almost started crying right there. I don't think you love me as much as I do you, but that's fine. We'll raise our kid, grow old and exist till we die. I already have a few hobbies that make me happy. I can't make you responsible for all my happiness. That would be unfair, and he said that with the most deadpan expression ever, like we were talking about the weather or how our day went. I tried to make him understand that this hurt me, but it didn't seem to land at all. He just kept staring at me blank-faced and I honestly felt terrified. Afterwards we slept in the same bed after he put Lily to sleep and cuddled like normal, which was so jarring to me. I've put a lot of work into keeping us together, so to hear this from him has hurt me deeply. It's even worse because what he describes sounds exactly like his parents. They're 2 old bitter people who stayed together to raise him and still stay together for God knows why. I've never seen them be loving towards one another, and only once towards him. He was always very particular about that stuff and said he never wants to have something like that. A few years ago he said that he was so glad we weren't like that and that he was so lucky to have someone who actually loves him and won't spontaneously stop because folded clothes are wrong. Which made me fall in love all over again to know how much I meant to him. And then there's all that stuff he said, and I honestly can't remember something like not talking to him or silence, but I remember how his mother used to forget things. Like she'd do something wrong, get that wrong thing pointed out and then forget it ever happened. One time she was saying something about how my kind of people are less likely to succeed in business and should become a housewife, which is weird because she's a lawyer and he certainly hasn't said anything like that and is very proud of my passive income stuff. My husband called her out on it stone-faced like yesterday and defended me. I didn't like that he said that I made more than him at the time cause I was afraid his mom would say something, but she backed down after that. She forgot about that incident a day later. Couldn't recall that lunch or what we did or anything sound that 1 hour period. He didn't want to subject me to that, but I insisted since family is pretty important to me, so we went back a few times. This same thing has happened at least 2 times, the target switching to him. I'm proud of him for standing up to her and she can't remember any of it. Eventually I got a begrudging approval from her. His dad didn't care too much and was, whatever makes you happy, from the start, which was nice. I'm crying my eyes out at a friend's house. I wanted to take Lily with me this morning, but she was in the middle of some class with Jack helping her do some activity the teacher gave them, so I just went on my own. I feel so heartbroken right now and I don't know what could have happened to make him think this way. I've been having a great few years since he's been home the last 5 or so years and lightened the load on taking care of Lily. What happened? Does anybody have experience dealing with something like this? This is a complete breach of my trust and I'm hurting so much from what he said. Any advice is helpful. I plan on returning at lunch and dinner for Lily's sake, but I'll try to talk to him after I've settled for a day.